Hello. It's 5D here. Good morning, although it might not be morning where you are. It's certainly morning here. It's 5 in the morning. 5 for 5D. And I am a sort of general slight insomniac. It's not the worst, but you know, I get a lot of stuff done when I wake up this early. So here we are. This is podcast 29. Oh, we're getting on, eh? This one's called If I Do Say So Myself. And it's all about my own tunes, deep and beeper tunes, basically. The joke there is in the name, because you know that there's that saying. So I'm going to play a lot of just purely my own music, and it's a 2-hour special. Yeah, should have maybe got around to doing this a long time ago, but you know, what can you do? Got to play my tunes at some point. They're pretty cool. Some people love them. Some people think they're a bit weird. But yeah, check them out. I'm going to start with chilled and build up to weirder. So yeah, it's Deep and Beeper Day podcast, I should say. So the first track is called Lost in the Shadows. I took a really cool sample of this sort of piano and just went chilled with it. Just sort of mashed it around a lot. I like it. It's pretty ambient and chill, this tune. I don't have a lot more else to say for it. It's on Deep Feed 5. So you can check that out if you want. I'm going to play it in a sec. Just leaves me to explain. But the background music you're hearing now is track one from my first ever album. It's called Where Do Neurochemicals Stop and the Soul Begin? Philosophical question on the, how can you have free will but be run by chemicals question. A bit philosophical there, but yeah. Oh, interesting factoids. In this track, a lot of the noises are recorded with the mic, obviously. What else do you record with? In my mum's yard. Yeah, I recorded the little BP thing that lets you in the door. She's got a weird little xylophone thing that I played, and you can probably hear all the different sounds in the back there. It's a good track actually. It's pretty chilled as well. So, and the broken piano's there somewhere. That's not the actual main sample, but you can hear a bit of broken piano too. Without further ado, it is Lost in the Shadows. Here we go. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. That was Lost in the Shadows by Deep and Beeper. Deep Feed 5 is the EP it's on. Yeah, if you want to check out just generally my website, that'll be deepandbeeper.co.uk. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff there, all sorts of things you might be interested in. Sample packs, links to this podcast if you want to get into infinite weird loops going back and forth between the podcast and the website, and just a variety of other stuff. My links to my videos. I do a lot of videos as well, and friends of mine do some videos, and we've got a lot of those going on, so check them out. But in the meantime, I will just continue, I believe, soothing your ears with the chill out Deep and Beeper. At least it starts soothing. This podcast, it's 2 hours. It will get more hectic, but I thought it best to start soothing. Some people find my hecticity, which isn't a word, can be they're not so into it, but they do like the chill stuff. Understandable. And not a problem. But yeah, it's like for the people who love the madness, yes, just wait this 2 hours. By the end of this 2 hours, you will be happy bunnies. But no, moving on. The next track is Ancient Tech from Deep Feed 4. I came up with the name for this one when I was out, working. I do some gardening, and down on the wall by some site, there was this little sign that looked like, I can't remember what it said, but it said something about there were wires there, but it was an old metal sign that had been screwed into the wall, and it would just look like it was about 200 years old, like a sort of ancient sort of archaeological sign, but for electricity. So I thought that was quite it just made me think, I could use that as a cover art. I never did use it as cover art in the end. Did take a photo of it. But yeah, it made me think of the name Ancient Tech. So here it is, Chilled from Deep Feed 4. More sort of piano-ishness. And hope you enjoy. Coming now. that was Ancient Tech. Deep and Beepers. I think, yeah, Deep Feed 4. I hope you like that. Yeah, it's pretty chilled. Trippy and chilled, which is what I like to do. I actually struggle to make, well, I find it harder to make chill music than crazy music. Probably, I don't actually know what I would say, because maybe it's because I'm not a chilled person. I am quite, I think I am. I do say so myself in this podcast, so I should really be bigging myself up as much as possible. I'm joking. But yeah, moving on. The next track is Movements in My Sandwich. It's from the EP, mini album called Tripsville, Tennessee, which I did with Zach Z, from where I come from, Rumsey crew. Yeah, he's a very talented instrumentalist and vocalist. I think is his best talent ever. His voice has a unique quality to it, and we did a little EP together. It's a mini album called Tripsville, Tennessee. You know what? Sod knows how he came up with the name. We were just recording, jamming stuff. I'm not really in much of it, mainly because I can't sing. But there was a little bit where I was just chatting, sort of semi-chatting some lyrics. And then randomly on the mic, I was just like, "You're taking the train, motherfucker! You're taking the train to Tripsville, Tennessee!" And we both just looked at each other and were like, "Yeah, that's what you got to call the album, man." Don't know where it came from. It was one of those weird moments where I was like, I didn't actually feel possessed. Well, I must have sort of been possessed, because I don't know why I said it. Anyway, here is the track from it, Movements in My Sandwich. Yeah, the whole album's meant to be trippy names. That's the point. So yeah, that's it. Here we go. Track running now.
sounds of motions, singing sounds of devotion, singing through the eaves of the setting sun. Singing sounds of emotions, singing sounds of devotion, singing through the eaves of the setting sun. Singing sounds of emotions, soundless sounds of devotion. Rays ever wandering, rays ever see through. Singing through the eaves of the setting sun. Rays of motion came in through the darkness of the night. When the happy seemed so bright, bright, bright. Sounds listen to now. Rays ever wandering, rays ever see through.
So yeah, that was Movements in My Sandwich. Love those trippy effects on his voice at the end and the lyrics that he freestyled actually at that point. Had him in the studio, just made some stuff up. I tripped it out, as I do. So yeah, that was Movements in My Sandwich from Tripsville, Tennessee. Yeah, so well, I've had about 3 cups of tea already this morning, so I am ready do this and just record and play my tunes, and I'm quite enjoying it because I can talk a bit more even about my own tunes than I could talk about when I introduce other people's, you know. Like obviously I adore listening to other people's music, but you don't have, there's not quite like a little story that you know behind every tune, is there? You can, you know, so it's always nice to have the time to do that and explain stuff. So yeah, my second album ever was called Encoded Reality, and it was sort of concept-y. The idea was that it told the story of the universe from like the Big Bang to the heat death of the universe, you know, with humanity in blip in the middle. And this is the first track from it. It's coming up. I'll start in a bit. It's called Alpha. You may know it if you've heard it, of the one that's just got millions of numbers read off at the end in a trippy fashion. Numbers, you know, and it talks with the Akashic records and infinity being encoded in a circle and stuff like that. It was meant to be the Big Bang, sort of beginning of the universe thing, and I love it. Yeah, I remember actually going to drum and bass night once, and one of my friends was there, and she was like, I was like, oh, have you listened to that album yet? And she goes, yeah. Oh, what, you mean the track with the numbers at the beginning? I was like, yeah, that's the one. So yeah, it's to be known as the Numbers tune. But it's called Alpha because it's meant to be the Big Bang. Here it is now. I'll just let it run. Hear the numbers. Inspired, of course, by Wars of Canada. The track, you may know by them, where it's just these numbers being read off during the track. And there's a little baby in it too, I think, laughing and stuff. It's very cute. Love that track. Here we are, Trip in Time, Alpha, from Encoded Reality, Deep and Beeper.
Resolution to this apparent inconsistency is offered by inflationary theory, in which a homogeneous and isotropic scalar energy field dominates the universe at some very early period. Exponential expansion, and the particle horizon expands much more rapidly than previously assumed, so that regions presently on opposite sides of the observable universe are well inside each other's particle horizon. The observed isotropy of the CMB then follows from the fact that this larger region was in causal contact before the beginning of inflation. 3.1818. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle predicts that during the inflationary phase there would be quantitative fluctuations serve as the seeds of all current structure in the universe. 88.207 Inflation predicts that the primordial fluctuations are nearly scale invariant and Gaussian, which has been accurately confirmed by measurements of the CMB. 3.1415 If inflation occurred, exponential expansion would push large regions of space well beyond our observable horizon. 23.18186 A related issue -105802 arises because in most standard cosmological inflation models, inflation ceases well before electroweak symmetry breaking occurs. So inflation should by 31 to prevent large-scale discontinuities in the electroweak vacuum since 158-10580 causally separate when the electroweak epoch ended. 118
A resolution to this apparent inconsistency is offered by inflationary theory in which a homogeneous anisotropic scalar energy field dominates the universe at some very early period, before baryogenesis. During inflation, the universe undergoes exponential expansion, and the particle horizon expands much more rapidly than previously assumed, so that regions presently on opposite sides of the observable universe are well inside each other's particle horizon. The observed isotropy of the CMB then follows from the fact that this larger region was in causal contact before the beginning of inflation. 23.18186
3.1415 ratio of circle never-ending transcendental irrational number 239,857 Akashic record holder pos 324497520 trillion and 20 quadrillion
3.149775203897709184-98531215-9325-55555
ratio of circle never-ending transcendental irrational number 239,857 Akashic record holder pos 324497520 trillion and 20 quadrillion
324977520
We are back to reality. Yeah, what I forgot and actually said a bit wrong at the introducing that track was the numbers at the beginning. The numbers at the end. The beginning I've completely forgot, which is a bit dumb considering the whole thing's meant to be about the Big Bang. That I had that stuff about the Big Bang, the technical, physical details, being read by the 5D droid there. For anyone who doesn't know, 5D droid is my pal, electronic vocalizer, I should say. I was going to go into some nonsense about my robot buddy, but no, I wish I had a little robot buddy. That'd be a laugh. But no, it's a vocalizer you can get to talk on the computer. And that's it, chatting, 5D droid, chatting about the Big Bang there. So next up, we have Tree 3. This is from Lost in the Impossible Puzzle. This is a nice tune, I really like this one. The intro's trippy, it's got some great noises in it. And it sort of drops into this quite nice melodic business that I managed to pull off. I like it. I'm not going to tell you about Tree 3 now. That is a long discussion. In case you're wondering what is Tree 3, like I said, I'm not going to bore anyone. It is actually quite interesting, but it's a mathematical function. It's one that it creates some of the biggest numbers. Like these, just to give you a handle on how big these numbers are, just because it's interesting. It's one of the very few actually interesting things about maths. These are numbers you couldn't even write down in the entire universe, even if you wrote like a 0 on every single atom. So yeah, they're pretty big. They're even like a billion, trillion, gazillion, nonillion, bogolion, billion times bigger than that. Yeah, so they're pretty huge. Anyway, running now, this is in the background, is Tree 3. I'm just gonna let it play. was Tree 3 from Lost in the Impossible Puzzle EP. There's a variety of sounds on it and genres. Like actually most of my releases now, I sort of mix it up quite a lot. I used to be more sort of purely certain things at certain releases, but now I like to just do the various different musics styles. So now we have It Was Better in the Olden Days. Yeah, just making that title about, you know, the sort of thing that some people say and some people agree and disagree, and I think it's true about some genres and blah, blah, that it was better in the olden days. Pop, for example, was clearly better in the old days. I hate modern pop. Sort of slowly got worse since, you know, from the 60s to when I was a kid, it was alright still, but the current stuff is just dire, in my humble opinion. But anyway, yeah, this is It Was Better in the Olden Days. Great tune. I love this one. Actually, probably one of the most melodic tunes I ever did, with a little beepy beeping, blip, 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 beep, beep, beeping, coming in all different ways and means and sounds. Yeah, I got this out of my modular gear, actually, back when I used to have some. Yeah, I sold it all, eventually, mainly because I was just spending hundreds of pounds every month that I couldn't afford. I was like, it was like an addiction. I was like, I better get rid of them. But yeah, I may get some modular gear again because it's fun and tunes like this come out of the basket. Basket? What am I talking about? Anyway, It Was Better in the Olden Days from Deep Feed 5, I believe. Here it is. Better in the Olden Days. Deep Feed 5. Next track is the introductory track to Deep Feed 6. It's called Rolling Like a Cube Doesn't. And yeah, I love this one too. Interesting factoid. Yeah, it sounds like it's done on modular as well, at least to my ears. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know what the sound of stuff that's done on modular is. I don't know how you describe it, but I have a sort of concept of what it's like in my head. But I'm going to let you into a secret. There was no modular gain whatsoever in this track. It's just Ableton. So here it is, because I'll just... Yeah, it's from Deep Feed 6, the intro track. Rolling Like a Cube Doesn't. One of my faves. Here we go. Nice filter fade out here as the tune filters down to just the bass. Sort of apt really as the intro to Deep Feed 6, considering it was purely bass music and dubstep pretty much on Deep Feed 6. If you're interested in listening to this stuff, yeah, check the Deep Feeds out. They went from dubstep at the beginning, sort of, what was the second? The second one was random stuff, and then the third one, etc. Then the third one went a bit experimental, but had a sort of, yeah, and then the fourth and fifth, I had some chill trip hop mixed with other sort of dance bass music. Yeah, I do like to mix it up a bit. The sixth one was with, I have to mention, Jerry Tremaine, otherwise known as JT. A good mate of mine, my best mate pretty much. Legendary dude, very good at instruments, singing, just general music, you know. You joined me on that for a couple of the tracks. We got some harmonica out of him and dubstep to the harmonica, which is nice. That's called, what's it called? Yeah, Yoko Oh No, but it's spelled Oh No, an exclamation mark. Yeah, so if you want to if you want to check out the tracks at all, or just any of the rest of my music, I just want to let you know the Deep Feed EPs. If you search them, Deep Feed, and then it's 1 or 2 I've been mentioning, put in 001 because there's 3 digits before it. And I guess it means I think I might make 999 of them. Well, what I mean is I probably won't make 999, but I could possibly make over 100. Or over 99, I should say. Who knows? But it's just nice to have 3 numbers next to each other anyway. Don't ask me why. It's OCD with numbers there. A bit like Rain Man. Anyway, the next tune is, I don't know, I'm going to work it out. Oh yeah, it's Unlabeled Medicine. Fun name. I don't know why I think that name's fun, but I do. I quite liked it. And this is, Deep Feed 1, the originator of the Deep Feeds. It is dubstep at its most minimal, and little sample from Game of Thrones bunged in there. Yeah, I love this track. Minimality rules. Hope you like it too. Unlabeled Medicine from Deep Feed 1. Here it comes. yeah, some minimal 140 going on. Hope you enjoyed it. Moving swiftly on. Well, not that swiftly, as you know, I can talk for longer about my own music. Little stories behind everything and stuff. What I will move on to saying is, oh yeah, I was gonna say that I just realised the birds started. It's 5:40. The birds just started tweeting outside my window. It's beautiful bird noises. I do love a bit of bird music. They always freestyle all day. Especially you hear it more in the morning, don't you? When they start off. Reminds me that I actually once made a tune, ages and ages ago, not my original music from way back in the day, but when I first got around to starting up Deep and Deeper again, I don't know, quite a long time ago now, I made a track called Avian Synth Communication, mainly because, yeah, I actually sampled a droid noise, sort of drone droid noise from a film called Oblivion with Tom Cruise, but they had this weird chatty noises, the drones, like it was really cool. I took it, mashed it a lot. It ended up sounding like birds, but if birds were synth, so I called it Avian Synth Communication, and I do like that track. A little special place in my heart for it. Check that out if you've got a minute. It's by Deep and Beeps. Up next, Emergence Phenomena. This is another one by me. It's from a release called Tetrahedron Bomb, which is I did a track there with NJC, the boss man. Big ups, shout out to Bossman. Yeah, this is one of the tracks from it called Emergence Phenomena. I like this one. Got a cool little sample about weirdly, it sounds like it's perfect for the track, like it's describing the track, the sample, but actually it's some dude talking about the AI that plays Go, that eventually beat the world's champion at Go. Interesting fact, the world champion at Go thought it was amazing that he actually said the AI, it was alive, like it had consciousness, he felt like it had feeling in how it was playing. Isn't that mental? There's a very interesting reason about how they run it. They don't even teach them, teach them the rules. They just get the computer to learn games and just then just play them and beats everyone. Anyway, Emergence Phenomena, here we go. Beaty, mad beatness and interesting chipness and sample. Here we go. Yeah, I thought I'd just let the end of that one play out. A lot of sort of little subtly sound effects in this that you won't hear if I'm chatting all over the top of it. Yeah, so that was Emergence Phenomena. Yeah, check that out if you like it. Find it on Spotify or Apple or Google or wherever you listen to your tunes. Yeah. Next up, Cloud Dub. It's still early. Tea is not waking me up fully yet, even though I've had 3 cups. As you might have told by the little outburst of confusion and not knowing what to say there. But anyway, what I was going to try and say, as I've just recalled it, was this next track is another one of the ones with a little special place in my heart, Cloud Dub. Feel like I made a quite an interesting sort of bass sound here. Not your usual bass line, but sounds really good to me. I hope you agree and don't think, Nick, what have you done? Why does it not sound like normal dubstep? What have you done? Well, this is what I haven't done is go like Skrillex and murder it. And I don't mean murder it in the good way. I mean sort of, murder the track, the dubstep genre in an unpleasant manner. With that screechiness that he calls bass, or people do. But it sounds like not subby or low or cool to me. It just sounds sort of horrible. But that is my opinion. Subject to my-ness. Anyway, if I do say so myself, podcast episode 29. Now we're playing Cloud Dub. From me, Ethan Beeper again. This is 5D announcing himself. Because, thought I had to do on 29th episode. I should get around to doing one about all my tunes. Here it is, and here's the 140 business that is Cloud Dub. Running now. like it. Cloud Dub. Why me again? I think I'm used to saying that because normally I introduce one track occasionally. So I'm sort of like, oh, it's another one again. When I've actually laid out that the idea of this podcast, episode 29, is 2 hours, little extra special length of just entirely my own music. Hope you're enjoying it. So moving swiftly on, as I always say, it's another one of my little catchphrases I've noticed. This one is called Oral Fetish, and it's from the currently unreleased Deep Feed 7. I'm not sure if it'll be out by the time you listen to this. I think it might not yet, because I'm a lot of other projects on the go, and I'm just taking more time to hone the perfectionism. And yeah, Deep Feed 7 will be epic when it comes out. This one is, I think, finished. And yeah, check it. It's Mad Bass Music Nurse Oral Fetish from the unreleased Deep Feed 7. the mentality, and by that I mean more mentalness, not the actual definition of mentality, is growing as we approach the 2 hours. Actually, as we get closer to the end of this podcast. I said it would start chilled and go up in craziness and BPM and bassiness and trippiness, and that's what's happening. There's gonna be a slightly downer beat, not downer, just a slightly more downbeat track now. Before we, rather than that mad stuff that just happened there. This one coming up is, it's coming right now as that last track, Oral Fetish Unreleased, ends. It comes in this one. This is Schizo Effective. This track was inspired, at least the intro, by the sound of Former, one of my favourite producers at the moment on Vision recordings mainly. He just does this stuff a bit like this, I reckon, at least I hope. I managed to emulate a little bit his quality. I do love his music. It's so effective. Yeah, a little bit of trivia behind the title. There was an old tune, psytrance techno, sort of psytrance but techno, by I think they were German, called the Delta. These are heavy psy techno band, and I don't know what the tune was now, but it would be like, there was a little sample of it. And the tune would come in, and it was that. I hope this is fit. And now it's playing. It's so effective. So a discussion of Deep and Beeper and my music wouldn't be right without one of my favourite people, great MC, Zookeeper. He has other aliases, but I won't mention them here as he is, well, just for now, he is Zookeeper, and he is a ledge. His lyrics are just awesome. His voice sounds great. His delivery, yeah. And he's also, along with Daisy Days, I reckon two of my biggest fans. I hope they're listening now. If they are, shout outs to them. Yeah, the next track up is, I think, the first track I even got him on the mic on one of my tracks. And it's called Fade to White Light. Zookeeper on the mic mix. That's some brackets there if you want to check it out. Yeah, I'll let it run. Bare tetrahedrals in the place. That's one of my favourite bits from it. Yeah, love all people. Love all people. It's got a good message too. It's like, it's hard, but it's upbeat as well. In that sense, which is nice. And it's just a great track. I'm going to let it run. Oh, one last little bit. I remember telling one of my friends about this, sending it to them and saying, what do you think? They were like, Nick, you make grime. I was like, what? How did I manage that? Never thought that'd be possible. Yeah, it doesn't sound like popular grime to me. It sounds, yeah, I suppose it could be kind of grimy. Well, at least she thought it was. But here it is, Fade to White Light, starting now. Zookeeper on mic duties, smashing it around, as he does.
Love all people, mind how you treat them. You meet them for a reason, stop trying to beat them. When you want to give an extra perspective, receptive to light, tell them the future's mine, it's what I decide. Old school but modified, old school but modified. I'm the roll type, like a godlike, puffing on a clock pipe, barking mad like a dog fight. Set the block alight, got it locked so tight. Me and my flow tight and bona fide. Yeah. So boy, on the rhythm, have a chill pill, please don't kill him. Just get on the mic and give him the beat grilling. The beat not skipping, the beat just different. Ignorantly beat on the big at the one I can't diss it. Straight out Brixton, spit a million, brilliant bars per minute. Leave a carbon footprint, drop it like a flight, tip it. Deplete your resource, till it make our energy equal. You burn slow like diesel, regenerate the pineal, up to speed to G-force. What I say is meaningful, still make you cut shapes. Bare tetrahedrals in the place, leave you in the fetal, reeling from the base. Solid like the concrete, strong you gotta be. Stop the beat, draw the inspiration from the beat. I'm the machine, mashed on beat, crash on the scene like a meteor. Getting high on the meter, hype in the media, so high, you like beat me up. Something I love, my smile beaming like the sun, get a beaten by the sub. Give me the freedom to speak a style you could only dream of. Check out my speech, get speed up through the speaker. Eat, sleep, live, breathe, dub. Let the rhythm pump through my blood. With enough energy I generate when I MC. Won't charge a penny, charge an atom negatively. Come check me, bedding on the beats for centuries. I'm the background sound to your destiny. True man's bliss, whatever happens next is meant to be. One of the signs that guide you. Don't idolize the false idol. Deep inside you, be mindful. The information provided by the light to you. From straight out Brixton, spit a million brilliant bars per year. Leave a carbon footprint, drop it. Cling to reality, keep a grip on the city. Put the hip in the hippie, high on the trippy, jaw swinging like the 60s. Seeing elves, leprechauns and pixies. Delve deeper, feeling digi, so digital. Seeing on crystal, high on the love of crystal. World seems mystical, simple things seem encrypted. My mind's twisted. pump through my blood with enough energy I generate when I MC. I won't charge a penny, I charge a pattern negatively. Come check me, embedded on beats for centuries. I'm the background sound to your destiny. True man bless, whatever happens next is meant to be. Yeah, 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 I'm the machine. Mashed on weed, crash on the scene like a meteor. Getting high on the meter, hype in the media. So high I'm like, beam me up. This is something I love. My smile beaming like the sun, get a beating by the sub. Give me the freedom to speak a style you can only dream of. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As we go now, sitting in a pile of Rizzler, trying to skin one. Couldn't find a better picture to sell to the highest bidder. Lungs made of steel, highlight stills. Time stays still, time was killed, vaporized, distilled. Just cause I like to chill, so chilled I'm on top of snow hills, rocking O'Neal, doing dope deals, flat out like roadkill. Love all people.
Yeah, speaks for itself, that tune. Yeah, loving that. Especially the heartbeaty sort of bass. Yeah, it's pretty, I'm not, if I do say so myself, it's a nice bit of bass, pretty heavy, pounding, sort of bit like a heartbeat. Moving on, I did a collaboration with my cousin, electronic music producer, Other Self is his current alias name. He's got an EP coming out soon, actually. Check it out, Other Self. But this is we did a little we do a little thing, little EPs where I remix one of his tracks, he remixes one of mine, and then we play, so then we have 4 tracks on the release. And this one is from Sub-Oceanic Fiber Optic Comms 001, which is the first one. This is his track Assembler, remixed by me. So yeah, check out Sub-Oceanic Fiber Optic Comms if you're interested to hear that stuff. And yeah, just please need to big him up if he's listening, Eddie. Big ups, man. Shout out to you. Yeah, the original track was great, and I had fun in remixing it, and here it is. Yeah, nice genius, if I do say so myself. Fulfilling the title of the podcast here. So moving on to getting near the end of this podcast, we've got a track called Quantum Encryption. That is also from Encoded Reality, the Universe Story album, second one. This, I guess, is, it's about sort of after humanity, when AI and technology takes over. Quantum encryption, sort of quantum computers, stuff like that. And it has quite a very futuristic feel to this track. One thing I'm really happy about with it as well is the beats at the beginning. There's this, it's always quite a hard thing to do, but it's this like a wonky bit and two slightly different BPM sounding beats coming together, like swapping back and forth, but not sounding like out of time, if you know what I mean. I really love it. It's another one of my few ultra favourite tracks that I ever made, actually. I remember after I completed it as well, the missus said she thought it sounded kind of sexual, which I thought was a good thing. A hard thing to pull off, especially if I'd been trying, I imagine. Plus, it's got a trippy space cat in it, and any tune with trippy space cat is awesome. Here we go. The trippy Quantum Encryption. Running now. Moving on. And moving on, yeah, we're getting near the end. This is the penultimate track. This is a track that I've done with shout outs to ABH Beatbox, one of the most talented beatboxers I met on the street. He was busking outside of Shepherd's Bush when I was working nearby, and yeah, I just loved it. I was like, man, do you want to be on one of my tunes? He's like, yeah, send them over, I'll see what I think. He liked my music, so we did the track together. We did a few tracks together actually, but this is one where it's sort of drum and bass, one of my faves. It's called We Call Him Predator, featuring shout outs to ABH Beatbox. I'm not very good at pronouncing stuff today. Big ups to him. He won, I believe, the 2019 UK Beatbox Championships, which is great because he'd been in it a few times before and like got to just like be the runner-up and stuff, and the finals, and didn't quite make it. And then in 2019, he fucking won it, and well deserved. He's an excellent beatboxer, great guy, and brilliant artist. So yeah, I'll just let the track play with him. I'll let the track play with him. That's funny. Let the track play. We Call Him Predator. That's D&B for ABH Beatbox together. Yeah, so what do you think? Here it is. Drum and bass, the trippiness, and beatboxing. Alright, here we go. Yeah, sometimes I wonder how he actually gets those noises out of his throat. I mean, beatboxing is really hard, don't get me wrong. I actually attempted to learn it and practiced it for about a day once when I was at some festival in France. I really enjoyed trying. I enjoyed doing the bass. Like, I'm not going to try any now for the sake of what it is, but I enjoyed attempting all the bass noises. And kick drums and low frequency stuff. I couldn't nail the hi-hats and the snares and the high stuff. So yeah, I sort of gave up. Thought I'll just keep the production and stuff like that. But yeah, the thing that boggles the mind, how do you get those synth noises? I mean, there's drums and hi-hats and bass, boom, that sort of stuff. But when he makes a noise and you're like, that was a synth, that is harder. And really cool. So yeah, right, so now we're on to the final track. It's been 2 hours. If you're still with us, Beep and Beeper special, 2-hour special. Check the website out if you like, beepandbeeper.co.uk. And it leaves me to introduce the last track, another unreleased one. I hope you like it. This one on sub bass bins is mental. I'm not sure how much it all plays well through headphones or smaller speakers. It's still pretty cool, but yeah, it's one for the subs if you've got them. It's called 57 Octaves Deep, unreleased. I think it's gonna be on Deep Feed 7 as well, and it's got a sample about black holes, the deepest sound in the known universe. About a black hole makes 57 octaves below middle C. That's one big ass piano if you want to play that note. Anyway, here it is, playing out Deep and Beeper, 57 octaves deep. Here's the track running out suitably, the last one, bass heavy dubsteppy. Here we go. See you in the next episode.
A sound wave. Sound. Expanding in between. A sound wave. Expanding the stuff in between. A black hole, 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 a black hole that makes the deepest sound in the known universe. That sound was calculated to be the equivalent of a B flat 57 octaves below middle C. 57 octaves below.